Welcome to Liverpool, Nova Scotia, Canada. A marvellous day here on the East Coast. The Mersey River will take you to the Atlantic Ocean, named after the Mersey River in Liverpool, England, much like the community itself. The World Junior Curling Championships 2019 are on here. It is taking place at the lovely facility of Queen's Place Emira Centre. Taking you inside on the broadcast this afternoon, Switzerland will play Canada in session 6 of the women's competition. To present the game, myself, Sander Vog, and I'm joined by curling star Laura Walker. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Let's meet the teams for Switzerland. Vanessa Tonoli at lead. At second, we have Laura Engler. Skip and third is Rafaela Kaiser. And throwing fourth stones for Switzerland, Selina Vichonke.
And for Team Canada this afternoon, lead is Paige Papley. At second, Kate Goodhelpson. The third is Abby Marks. And skipped by Selena Sturmay.
It is certainly Switzerland everyone's chasing at the moment. They're sitting on top with 5 wins, no losses. China will follow closely at 4 wins, 1 loss. Canada at 3 and 2. So are Korea and Russia, while we have Norway, Sweden, USA at 2 and 3. Scotland with the 1 win. Japan yet to pick up a win here in Liverpool.
Some other games going on here this afternoon. Korea and Norway will play on Sheet A. On Sheet B, Russia will play Scotland. Sheet C, Japan will look for their first win against Sweden. And on Sheet D, the United States against China.
Both teams about to get ready. They've had their pre-game practice, of course, 9 minutes on the ice. Also, that last stone draw, trying to win the hammer, and that was won by?
That was won by Switzerland. Both teams having just an average draw to the button. One of their stones, each team will throw 2. One of each team's stones was quite good into the 4-foot, and a second one for both teams only into the 12-foot. So ultimately, Switzerland just edging out Canada.
We will see Switzerland throwing the red stones this afternoon. Canada will throw the yellow. And it seems like Canada is starting here.
Line's good. Wait, close.
It's Paige Papley with the first stone.
Good.
Switzerland was honoured before this draw. We heard the Swiss psalm being played in the arena. Maybe getting the Swiss girls all pumped up before this game. Always big to play Canada. Being from Europe myself, we always try to excel when we play the Canadian teams.
Yeah, it's one of the tougher things about wearing the maple leaf on your back. Not only do you feel the pressure of representing your country, but you also oftentimes get the other team's best games of the week. Most teams are fired up to play Canada, especially when you're playing against them on home soil. You want to do all you can to keep those fans quiet.
Vanessa Tonoli at lead. We'll throw the corner guard. We've seen some teams make the play into the house, maybe hit the stone in the house, but Switzerland quite happy to get things going, although this one slipping into the rings.
I think that call is a testament to their 5-0 record. They're obviously very comfortable with these ice conditions and playing quite well, so putting the pedal to the metal right from the first end.
That slip-up might foil their plans, however. We'll see. Switzerland just will concede the send and start hitting. Would be pretty aggressive to throw another corner guard. Will be the hit.
They might try another corner guard later on in this end, should Canada have a rollout on any of their takeouts. But of course, by that time, Canada will be able to peel any of the rocks out front, which I expect they will based on throwing their first one into the rings.
Okay, so Vanessa. Besser. Nehmen 2 Hände. Nice.
Here is Kate Goodhelpson. Second for Canada. Wow, that one over curls.
Might have just been a little quiet on the weight there for Kate early in the game. You, if anything, want to be a bit on the heavy side of these takeouts. So if it does hit some fresher pebble, maybe a path you haven't played down, that heavier weight can counteract the fresh pebble.
Laura Englert takes a look behind, maybe thinking that picked up something, I'm not sure. Seems to be pretty good though. Actually just over curling. Not sure if that will stick around. It will not. As we see the rules of play. 10 ends is what the game is scheduled for, but the teams will have to play 6 ends minimum. 38 minutes of thinking time per team, and they are allowed to call 1 60-second timeout to interact with their coaches, or at least one coach.
Medium up, clean.
5 rock rule is in play for the World Junior Championships as well. Just like every World Curling Federation event this season. And pretty much every other event as well.
8-8. I think everywhere across the world has adopted the 5 rock rule, even in curling clubs and recreational play.
Yeah.
Makes the nose hit here, so not sitting in the rings, but that's more or less a corner guard for Switzerland. A danger stone for Canada.
Selena will try to roll this one onto the rings, but if anything, she'll want to be careful that she rolls it all the way out of play versus sticking around in front of the rings and giving a guard for Switzerland to work with to try to generate 2 points.
Happy marks to try and do exactly that.
Clean. Schmien out. So.
Rafaela Kaiser makes the hidden stick.
Medium. Yep. Clean, clean. Medium. Yep. Clean, clean. Wall, wall, wall. It's good. 9-9. Kick, kick. Okay.
That one just rolling out, leaving nothing in play as we We're down to skip rocks.
That little rollout there doesn't really hurt Team Switzerland. It was looking like a blank anyways. But what it does do is allow a free draw for Selena Sturmey into the forefoot here, which can be huge later on in the game if you're drawing against a couple of points to have that comfort in your back pocket.
15.
Leave it at 14-8.
Don't really want to leave Sturmey a chance to find her draw weight. Could prove crucial later on.
Yeah, sticking around early in the game is key to just keep the other team hitting, even if it doesn't necessarily hurt you to roll out. The blank is still going to happen here either way, but this one here coming up short, had this been a draw against a few, that could have been huge for Switzerland, but now she'll have a chance to add a little bit more based on how that felt.
15-9. That was also bad release on my part.
Kip. We gaan niet wenden, zo. Ik word hier omdoen.
Yep.
Nu, ne?
Would think they'll just play the hit and run here.
We doen een split, we kunnen vast niet naar.
Because of where Selena stopped, not quite in the rings, they kind of have to roll it out to get it out of the way and not leave Canada something to come behind.
Could, of course, try and hit and roll onto the rings, but maybe a risk not worth taking for Selena Wiczonka. We'll see.
Yup.
Yup. In de haas. Yup. Ja, vast.
Put
Seems to be just a very controlled hit and run. Actually, doesn't catch too much of that yellow, just enough.
Yeah, you definitely could have rolled that on, but you'd have to play with some pretty quiet weight. And in the first end, in a spot you maybe don't know so well, or might still be a little bit fresh, that can be a little scary. We did see Kate good helps in flash one earlier in the end in a bit of a fresh spot.
I'm expecting just the blank on this corner to fall here, so maybe we get lucky. I don't know if they realize that yet.
I think it should be the same speed as the middle.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you a couple feet more.
Okay, yeah.
Line's good, hair tight.
Little down.
I gave more, definitely more.
Close.
Line's good.
T.
Line's good.
T.
Just T.
T.
Page if anyone.
Or like just behind T.
Line's good.
Just behind T.
Page
Line's
if
good.
anyone, Page.
It's good. 14-8.
This was really smart by Selena. They actually talked about where to put this rock. They think that this side might fall a little bit, so the blank might run pretty straight, and you heard her say they might get lucky. So many teams will just toss this one into the ring somewhere, but she really thought this one through.
I guess two schools of thought: either put it in the center, you have to roll big to get out of the rings, or just try and put it in the tricky spot. Last one for Switzerland here in the first end. Is good. It's good. A hit and run, a blank for the Swiss. So no score for now, but lots of curling yet to be played here in Liverpool this afternoon.
Ja, der Führer ist jetzt 14-9 gemischt.
Ja. Ja, ist gut. Machen wir mal
All right, we're minus.
Yeah, it's still. Give her something. really back on release.
I've heard that Beaver's name is Ryan. I think it actually has a name. They've been in a couple of pictures here this week, a mascot as such for the Canadian team. It's their good luck charm.
I believe it is the national animal of Canada.
I believe so.
There's two of them.
Yeah, little baby Ryan.
Just kick them much faster?
The Paige's first rock of this end actually go all the way through the rings.
Like your first, like when you...
3, 4. 4, 5, 6. Ganz ihre im Hus. 15-3.
Well, put a corner guard in the house, shame on you. Put the corner guard in a second time, really shame on you.
Ice must be quick out there. We've seen now 2 rocks here in this second end slide quite a bit deeper than what was intended.
Forward! Forward! Forward!
Whoa, whoa, whoa. 11-4, soft on release.
Well, not the greatest start to the second end here. We're halfway through the week. Could have been taking a toll on the players now. Not a lot of these girls are used to playing curling for a full week.
No, both physical exhaustion for those sweepers and just being mentally tired. You're playing so many games out here and so many rocks thrown. It can be tough to stay focused for every single one of those rocks. But it's so important to treat every shot like it's, the last one of the event.
This one not making it over the hog line. What is going on here?
We've seen both of these teams this week play a lot better than what they're playing so far.
I think it'll pick up. Just a little bit random for all those misses to come right in a row.
Easy down, little down. No, clean. No. Easy down, clean. Whoa, whoa. Almost clean.
Yep.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. 11-1.
It'll be important for these girls out here to just put those shots behind them, reset, learn from what happened, and move on with the rest of the game. Parking it is what a lot of sports psychologists will call that. Just park the last shot and move on to your next one.
Yep. Nice. Medium.
Clean. Yep. Clean. Medium. 9-3. Good throw.
Size. Top 10.
Oh, we do set.
Sorry, that forgot. Yeah, I was too out of practice.
Not a lot happening in this end. I think we need that corner guard in place to get some stones going. So we might see Switzerland just blank again and try and get that corner guard up in the third.
Yeah, at this point, without a miss from Canada, there won't really be an opportunity for Switzerland to get their deuce here. This one is coming into the ring, so expect to see Switzerland keep hitting it. And the other thing it does too, after those few misses we saw early in this end, and even the rollout that Switzerland just had, gives them a chance to keep learning the sheet of ice before they start putting the pressure on. Both teams were pretty lucky that those early misses in this end didn't have a huge consequence. Do that later on in the game with lots of rocks in play and you could be in big trouble.
Stefan Kaiser from Zug, Switzerland. Beautiful place. He's won a bronze medal at the World Curling Championship back in 1996.
Clean. 9-6.
Here we see Amanda Dawn St. Laurent, the coach of Team Canada, longtime coach of the University of Alberta, where all of these girls go to school. She's been at the Worlds a few times. I believe this is her third World Championship now, so lots of experience on the bench for her. Also see Canadian team coach Helen Radford, just a huge asset on the bench. And fifth, Carly Burgess.
Well, Carly, you get to it's right here. You don't even have to go very far.
We mentioned how Canada's been on a roll in terms of winning the World Juniors on the women's side. 4 out of the 5 last years have won gold. Kelsey Rock won it twice, Mary Fay once, and Caitlin Jones took over Mary Fay's team and picked up the title last year. And here is Carly Burgess, who was on
top 4
the team last year and playing for Mary Fay, so 2 titles she has sitting on the bench. Lots of experience for Team Canada.
As she and her team with Caitlin Jones just losing out in the semi-final of the Canadian Championships this year, so they had a great run, and what a fantastic pickup for Team Canada.
Line's good. Curling.
It's been a while since Switzerland picked up the title. You have to go all the way back to 2005. Tanja Grievel skipped Switzerland to gold. I'm sure the Swiss girls here this week would quite like to break the spell.
Great start for them so far to start that run.
Tani.
That year, Michelle Yecki was alternate, the reigning world mixed doubles curling champion.
Medium. That was her to center.
Medium.
Lead.
Medium.
Yep. Yep. Medium. Hard. 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 Really gotta go hard. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Hit and stick by Sturmey. So far, Selena Vichonke. Again, we'll look for the blank. This time on the intern.
Nice, edge 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canada is enjoying a good streak on Switzerland.
There's definitely a ridge. As soon as you get outside of it, you're fine.
And World Junior play, they won the last 5 games on the Swiss. So not only looking to break the spell of no gold medals, but also looking to break the spell against Canada this week. As Vichonka will roll out and blanked the second end. She was a skip the last 2 times these 2 teams met. Third time might be the charm. No points so far after 2.
Yeah, I'll try and get drawaways.
Weights close, halfway tight.
Just tight.
Tight.
Room if anything. Running.
Tight.
Tight,
Top 12. Top 8.
Yeah, running like we're heavy.
Top 8.
Might come down.
15-5.
Tight top 12. Top 12.
Well, still, Stone slipping a bit deep. This one into the top 12. Certainly did look like Canada was hoping for center guard. Might be wrong.
No, I believe they were, especially being the third end here, probably trying pretty hard to force Switzerland to their single point and not allow a third blank.
Well, I mean, Switzerland wouldn't be too upset to blank the ends. I know they're definitely trying to put the corner guard up and get something going, but the more blanks you get on the board, the shorter this game becomes, and the bigger the advantage of last zone really is for the Swiss.
Yeah, especially this being an odd end. Blanking this one will mean you have now hammer in the evens, and if things go their way for the rest of the game, which that's still a long time to have things go as they should, then Switzerland should, in theory, have last rock in the 10th end.
This time Tonoli making sure that that was shy enough for weight. Big sweeping job to get that deep enough. That ends up in a usable spot for Switzerland.
Top 8. Whoa. Switch. Top 8.
Abby.
Canada's looking for the tap on the L here, just over curling.
Hard, Abby, hard.
Breaking hard.
Keep going, go, Abby. Hard.
Actually ends up half tucked around that corner. Not a horrible plan B.
15-2.
Makes it hard for Switzerland to come around their own corner guard.
Yeah, key to keep that high in the rings so that they can't freeze to it and be shot.
Was that the call?
I don't believe so. Like you said, maybe a tap on the middle, I think, was their original thought. But really important to call those audibles, those plan Bs, if needed, partway down the sheet. Could be a difference between a win or a loss.
Whoa. Achtung, yup. Andere Seite. Da. Okay, Platz 2.
Yeah.
Medium up. Medium up.
Yup. Clean. 9. It's good.
Does make the roll, but I think they wanted to just keep that on the center line and that would mean that Switzerland can't use their corner guard because there would be no hole there. By rolling where she did, she leaves this freeze now for Switzerland.
Yep. 6,5.
That's a very nice freeze.
I don't hate that. Halfway tight.
The goal for Canada now is just to make it as difficult as possible for Switzerland to promote any rocks onto the one that they just threw to use that freeze that was just made.
Little tight. Little really. Yup.
Wait, close.
Line's good.
Half tight. Half tight. Half. Just half. Half.
Whoa.
Over and off. Half tight. Half. Okay. Just like here.
It's good. 17-1.
Pretty good result there. Makes a splash.
Yeah, although that combination in the top of the 8-foot is buried, it's buried behind a rock that's quite high. So Switzerland should be able to play a tap or a quiet weight takeout at those two rocks to promote their red onto the yellow one and maybe sit two depending on where this one goes here for Abby Marks.
Yeah, essentially splitting the rings here, Canada.
Line's good.
Coming into I2, there's no way to remove that red stone.
Tight, top 12.
Are we in?
Tight.
Hold that. Keep.
Coming up light here, so
Finish. Page.
Sturmey saying, well, let's leave it as a center guard. We might be able to use that.
Go. Hard.
Yeah, this is quite a bit short of where they had intended. They wanted this rock in the back of the 4-foot even so that a hit and roll for Switzerland would be behind the tee line, and coming up quite light and now leaving a good opportunity for Switzerland. Doesn't even close off that hole, I don't think.
Well,
the hole is the call for Switzerland. Pretty tight port to come through here.
Backline hack! Achtung! Hack is goed!
Even if you wreck on either guard here, it opens it up for Switzerland.
They have some options here.
This one's really starting to break on them, but past the corner. That is one really good shot by Rafaela Kaiser. Doesn't kill the yellow, but I think leaving Switzerland sitting two.
What a great sweep by these two girls. Great weight control too. They recognized they needed to play that fairly quiet to get through that hole. Didn't worry about killing the yellow one.
Canada taking quite a bit less ice here. Maybe throwing a bit more weight. Also with Abby Marks' out turn, might run a bit straighter here. Looking really good. That is as good as she can do there, Abby Marks. Very nice.
Kom så! Mer sin shot!
Okay.
Mer så!
Finde ich gut.
Ist gut!
15-5.
Ist halb raus schauen auch okay?
Ja.
Ist halb raus schauen auch okay?
Ja.
Let's get the clock up and going here. From the hogline to hogline, we've been seeing about 15 seconds, maybe even a touch more in certain games for a draw. Teams have been a little off on the draws so far today. That's 14-7. Seems to be running pretty quick. Very similar to what we've been seeing this whole week.
Yeah, 15 seconds is even the wait to get there all by yourself. You can even throw closer to 15-3 to 15-5 and use your sweepers a little bit, and they can get it there for you, no problem. So slipping a little bit deep here gives Canada an out after that great tap through the hole.
I think we just freeze it. Yeah, I got 14-7.
Wenn es jetzt den Freeze macht, würde ich auch noch mal hinter, oder?
Ja.
Line's close. Hair tight. Close. Close. Top four. Yep. Line's good. Top four. Line's good. Line's good. Hands red. Just top four. To it.
Top 4 T.
Yep, yep, yep.
Hard.
Hard.
T. Hard.
Hard, 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 hard. Right up,
Go,
right
Kate.
up, right up, hard, hard, hard. Hard, hard, hard. Go, 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 go. Keep going.
Was a freeze the call or the straight draw?
The freeze was the call, and the reason for that, even though it's pretty deep, is that sometimes freezing a rock dead on is just as good as taking it out. If you can stay in front of it, then effectively it shouldn't score. So she was trying to come all the way to it. By leaving it a bit higher, she does leave a tap now because there's space between the yellow and the red for Switzerland to try to lie 3. Should roll into the open though, and Canada will have a double back. But Selena would have loved to have frozen that one right on.
That's why I think Switzerland might not be looking to tap this as far to lie 3. Taking quite a lot of ice here. Might just be trying to tap this out of the forefit to sit 2. Maybe try and keep the shooter slightly beneath cover. Might keep that yellow as backing as well. Really working this one to get past the top, but it's all over that yellow. Spins into the 8-foot.
I kind of like medium. It just throws a lot here. I'll tight ice
Das ist ein früher National gespielt.
Just a bit shy for weight there, I think, Vichonka.
14-3 haben wir gehabt.
Medium. Okay. A good rock roll in is great. Nose is okay too,
Hit and
though.
roll for Canada.
Yeah, even if they hit this one right on the nose, I don't believe there'll be a whole lot there for Switzerland for 2. They won't be able to make the double and also be shot. So a little bit of a roll would be great, but nosing it makes it really tough on Switzerland.
Medium! Good medium.
What you can't do, though, is hit this on the high side.
No!
Anything, Kate.
Actually ends up getting the double here for Canada to lie 3. Why not?
Why not?
Actually makes it pretty tough for Switzerland to score with that result. hindsight, maybe the best result.
Yeah, now that one never comes into play. I'm not sure it would have scored. Yeah.
It does look like Switzerland, they're just looking to play a little hit and roll in here for second shot. Give up the one. They don't seem to think it's possible to come through the board here for one themselves. Maybe just not wanting to take on that risk.
Yeah, it probably is possible, but just not worth it, especially in the second end of this game.
This one not rolling far enough. That is a steal of 2 for Canada. Quite the turnaround in this end. A lot more action than we had in the first 2. I think we'll have a lot more. After 3 ends, Canada is up 2-0 on Switzerland.
All right, let's just make a couple more shots this time.
Yeah, I'll pick up my socks.
Oh, wait. Okay. Keep
Länge. Gornegaard muss sicher näher ans Haus. Also wie vorher bringt sie nichts. Aber kommt schon. Länge ist immer noch gleich wie 15-15.
Ja.
Okay.
Okay. Really wanted to grind. T is back T. 14-3. Back 4. That's fine. That's good. That's really good.
After 2 blank ends, Canada steals 2 on Switzerland. So if the Swiss were trying to score their 2 earlier in the game, I think they'll definitely go hard for that now. Should be full of confidence, being undefeated so far.
Selina, sicher an Stein, muss viel curlen. Muss viel curlen.
They really did have something going that last end there too. Had pretty good opportunity for their deuce and just slid a little bit deep behind the tee line on a come around attempt that left an out for Selina. Ooh.
Third, corner guard. That slips into the house for Tonoli. That's not excusable, I think, at this point.
No, they should be used to the ice conditions now. They're not really changing anymore. They've had 2 practices and 3 ends played on this sheet of ice, and she's in a path that has been played. Both leads really struggling in this game. We saw one end where Paige went through the rings and then had a flash so early in the game. That's why her numbers are so low, but it seems like she's been picking it up now. This is a lovely little hit and roll in front of the rock in the rings.
Does that even stay in front of the rings?
They're going to take a look.
I think it's out, but
Might have a 6-foot measure here. Yep.
10-4.
That's what they're calling for.
Okay.
Not quite agreeing if that stone's in or out. And of course, if it's outside the rings in the free guard zone, Switzerland wouldn't be allowed to remove it from play. So just waiting for the umpire to bring the stick. 6-foot measure. You know, one time I
Wenn er
had
den ist, würde ich glaube anspielen.
good friends, he called for
Also
the
ich habe das
measure.
Gefühl, er ist den, sie sagt das, aber...
It was measured to be in the house, so they're allowed to hit it. Change his mind through a corner instead.
Oh. You don't like that if you're the opposition.
All that time wasted.
Well, and what that does too is now you can play the whole rest of the end knowing that it is in.
It is out, so Switzerland not allowed to remove that rock from play. They can move it, just not be on the back line or onto the bumper. a little frustration showing with Kaiser. Of course, when your lead's playing 42% through the first 3 ends, it's a clear sign that it's not really setting up well.
And that's what led to those 2 blanks. It wasn't for a lack of trying for Switzerland. They really wanted to get something going, but just not able to set it up. This one needs to sit as well.
Just barely in time. Didn't seem to curl a lot in that path. And of course, if you find a path that curls a bit less, it's less distance to travel for the rock. It might be a bit quicker that way.
Usually if there's not a lot of curl, it will seemingly slide a little bit more because, like you said, it's not curling, it's just less distance. Kate also struggling a little bit to start this game. Had a flash in the first end, but now, since then, has been playing quite well for her team.
I think we expect both teams to gel now that they've played a couple of ends.
16-9.
Although that one does overcurl a little bit, leaves the shot stone in the ring exposed.
Laura Englund.
Having herself a good game so far.
Just looking for a freeze tap here on the O. Very good.
Very good.
She's keeping the Swiss in this game.
Swiss will want to be a little bit careful here of cutting down that scoring area. They only need 2 points to tie this game right back up, and you don't have to manufacture that this early in the end. By trying to do it too soon, you could see quite a bit of junk coming into the middle and almost giving up a steal or maybe getting forced that way. So another option there could have even been to tap that one on an angle and roll your shooter away, maybe get it out of the rings, open up that scoring area.
I think Kaiser was hoping to tap that a bit farther. Just
a little bit light.
Yeah, while they were waiting for the line, had to curl.
14.
Good Helpson. Another mistake here. Setting up nicely for Switzerland if they can put one right on top here. Almost the same shot for Englund.
Yeah, same weight would be perfect here.
Can even afford a little tap. Just want to get the right angle here. Felt like she came at the hack a bit light there with the throw, and this one's catching a whole different path with the less weight. But ends up in an okay spot.
Watching her release this rock here, hanging on to it, and just at the end, maybe gets it a little bit close to that 12 o'clock position, which could create it to curl a little bit earlier. It also looked like she really held on to that one for a long time, which could have taken the weight off of it a little bit, ending up lighter than her first one. If you allow your body to decelerate as you're letting it go or before you let it go, then without a big add, it takes a lot of speed off the rock. Great game so far from Abby.
Top four. Forward. Forward. T-line. Forward. Back four. Forward. Back forward. 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 Forward.
Just wrecking on the top red here. That's unfortunate. Leaves that yellow exposed. Chance for Switzerland to make the hit and roll.
Selfie.
It is getting drunked up though.
Elf.
Abby did take that red rock, but didn't take it far enough to stagger anything or move it under the guard, so it's still in a very usable spot for Team Switzerland. Scary rock for Canada in the top of the 12.
Could maybe even afford to over curl here.
Not that much though.
Maybe not that much. No, actually ends up on the same red as Canada wrecks on.
Now I think they've staggered it too and can't use it anymore.
12-4 habe ich ihn gehabt.
Seems to be getting a bit of curl coming this way.
Yeah, we've watched one other game on this sheet, and it did seem like the side curling away from the board, so away from the crowd, was quite a bit straighter. This side that they're playing on had more curl. See if the teams can pick up on that.
This one also over curling. Makes a double, just the wrong one.
But changes the angle on that back yellow the way it was previously. Angle was quite a bit better for Switzerland. And also cuts down the scoring area. She has a lot more of the forefoot now. Abby Marks does with that yellow shooter rolling into the forefoot.
Blöd, dass sie jetzt so versetzt ist und nicht so. Wenn wir so sind, hat sie den Doppel. Ein bisschen tappen. Weil wenn sie ihn anspielt, rollt sie sicher auf.
Ja, vor allem wenn wir da anspielen, sie haut drauf und unser Rohr geht immer links raus.
Wie ist ein bisschen tappen? Gut, Second wirst du fast nicht.
Sind wir da?
Nein, das ist besser.
Okay.
Nein, ist hinter.
Ja, das Ding ist auch, sie leitet sonst nachher sicher so
Nein,
einen.
ich weiß es nicht, wer besser ist.
Sie leitet nachher sicher so einen.
Ja, würdest du
Oder?
gleich probieren? Ich meine, sonst soll sie den Doppel spielen, dann haben wir auch den Doppel.
Sie verliert ihren auch.
Ja.
Okay,
Wenn wir
Tendenz
gleich so-
kurz.
Ja,
Okay.
ist gut.
Ja.
Ich weiss sonst nicht was.
Ja.
Ist gut.
Aufmachen.
Macht sie auch den. Und dann an den können wir nicht. Ich würde so.
Looking at a few different options here, Switzerland.
Okay, Freeze vor 4, kein Bounce.
Okay, ja. Wenn er jetzt vorne 8 wäre.
In the
Yeah,
end, it's
okay.
Ja.
the freeze on their own red here. Just gonna have to be careful about not overthrowing this one, bouncing off their own red,
Bit weniger.
leaving the shooter exposed, maybe leaving a double for Canada.
Yeah, that's why that shot by Abby Marks, even though it wasn't the intended result, to move the positioning of that back yellow rock was pretty big. Where it was before, Switzerland could throw a tap, a freeze. They could have had a lot of options, and now they can't really move their red too far at all. Seeing some curl on this side once again.
Big sweep.
A little light as well.
But I'd like to bounce out here. They do, so that rock is promotable.
15-6.
Es wäre etwa gerade okay gewesen, wenn er nicht ankommt.
That little bounce off is pretty key. A lot of teams, when their rocks are starting to come up short, they give up on it. But trying to make sure that you don't leave a stagger is really important. So Canada take on this
Do
double.
you guys like this, or do you like the guard? I don't know if she can actually draw to get second.
I don't hate this, but the thing is like,
Well, if I miss it, it's not good.
yeah, exactly.
I'll go fuck around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what kind of weight did you want to throw at it?
How does she get her two?
I don't like trying to feel at it.
Like, that's a really hard draw. Then again, I think it was
Yeah.
I just didn't realize it was that overlapped. I just don't hate the guard.
Yeah, guard is good.
They try and come. Because I missed that, like, we're giving up 2.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
the guard.
I do too.
Good discussion. The guard was my first thought as well after seeing where the rocks stopped. Just because right now, like Selena said, if they can't promote that red rock, there's really not a draw for 2 there for Switzerland. If there is one, it's really difficult. So by guarding this red one, makes Switzerland play a double tap or a double run, which is a very difficult shot. The only way Selena gives up 2 or gets herself into some trouble is by missing the takeout that she had called. This is a much safer call.
Weight's good, half tight.
Starting off quite well there for Selena. 100%.
Yep. Hack. Whoa. Okay, over and off.
Half high.
Over and off.
Just half.
No. Even. Wir haben auch nicht das Gefühl. Ihre Gelb läuft dann wahrscheinlich einfach dahin.
Guard is in place.
Ja, aber Anni, vielleicht auch der Draw am Schluss.
Definitely makes that tap tougher. I'm not sure if
gut.
it is.
Wenn wir nicht abwählen,
Nein,
lecken das
sie hat
There.
den schon. Aber wenn sie ihn voll trifft, dann liegen wir den mit 3.
Okay, so.
Findest du gut?
8.
Okay.
Playing some sort of combination on the guards
Gut
here.
aufmachen.
Obviously good enough from Selena with that guard.
Reiten, legen wir den Doppel hin.
Ja. Die gelbe einfach.
Ja.
Beide.
Ja.
Wow. Wow.
A bit too thin.
Okay, nicht schlecht.
Denkst du, der Tap geht? Oder mag er von der Linie nicht durch?
Ja, es wird genau. Also, ich denke, der Gelb kommt im Weg.
Fast nicht.
Get there, but.
I think it's possible to get here. Like, even if we're back.
Okay.
You just kind of have to put rotation on it.
Second shot is the best guard, or in this case, the third shot. Is that the thinking?
I think that is the thinking, but they just had a conversation on Selena's first rock, not thinking that a draw was even there on this
Try
side.
and get-
So
We either need
not really
top
sure
8,
what they're taking away here.
half buried or like back 8.
They could just throw another guard.
I just want to be like full 12 piece of 8 just so it takes away the multiple score if she does make something great.
Okay, I think we're thinking 15 and a half.
Yeah,
For top
not
eight.
a lot of easy runs to make for Switzerland here.
No.
Not even sure if the 2 reds top 12 are counting the one back 12 for Canada.
Well, in any combination that she does play, she'd have to promote one of those red ones. So for sure,
Top 8. Keep.
maybe losing one.
If it's back, bring it back. If it's back, it has to be back.
Gotta make sure not to be wide and leave a double of any kind here. Trying to bring it past their own yellow. They do.
Gets it into the 8 foot.
Aber das Gefühl, wir können uns
That's pretty much what they were hoping
picken.
for, I think. Just
Yeah, I'm just not really sure the reasoning behind switching gears, calling the guard on the first one and not on the second one. But accomplishes what they were looking for, getting third shot somewhere in the 8 foot.
Da und noch ein bisschen tappen.
Ja, er muss einfach bis drauf. Ein bisschen tappen langt,
Ja,
oder?
langt 11.
Oder wir können auch die. Laura, wie viel siehst du von dem?
Ein Mühe weniger. Ja, es geht so. Hinter knapp nicht. Oder denke geht. Gut, dann spielen wir den, weil da können wir ganz sicher nicht nur rausnehmen. Gut, machen wir den. Was
Okay.
ist das? Backline. Hinter 8.
Als vuurbroek, job back.
Backline. Good.
And by not guarding, they actually leave a potential shot here on this Red Rock top 12.
Very tough though, I think.
Backline.
Backline's the way call. They're gonna have to shave that yellow.
She does have to hit it on the high side.
Yeah. They'll have to move 2 rocks as well. Last on fourth end.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
This one is well wide.
Yeah.
Backline needed 12. Nice.
Trying.
Go.
Really was trying.
Oh,
Close.
almost got the line. Either a little more curl or a little more weight in the same spot, and she would have got her 2. Great try.
It will be just the one for Switzerland here.
Geprobeerd.
Schlussrechtgeschwindigkeit abknappen.
Ja.
Okay.
2 on the score.
Okay, we'll play better. That was a bad end. Sorry, fam. I think we just have to know our tolerances. Like, that's the biggest thing.
Okay, goed. Yep. Wow, no, nice broek. Yep. Hey, nog. Kom, stief.
Hop, Schwitz and cowbells. That's what you can hear from the stands. Quite a lot this afternoon.
Both Canada and Switzerland have very loud fans. Aside from maybe Scotland, I'd say they're the 2 loudest ones we have out here. Must be a lot of fun for these young players to play in front of big crowds like this.
Top 8. Just top 8. Top 12, top 8.
And if you wondered, Hop, Schwitz basically means go Switzerland.
Line's good, top 8. Line's really good. Switch if you can. Switch. Abby in.
Much better start there from the Swiss lead, putting that center guard in a very usable spot for her team.
15-3.
And a good draw around by Tapley.
Stief. Nothing. Okay, so kiss it. Okay. 5-8. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be quick.
I'll try and give you really simple.
Okay.
Hair tight.
Yeah.
Hair down. Oh, line's good. Top 8. Line's really good. Back top 12. Back 4. Weird. Top 12. Tight. Top 12. Full 12. Top 12. Full 12. Full 12. Full 12. Maybe not.
Whoa.
Team Canada
16.
just looking to split the rings there, but would have really liked that one behind the tee line so that they didn't leave this hit and roll here for Switzerland. Switzerland has a very dangerous rock at the top of the 12-foot there. It's enough exposed that they can use it. Good hit and roll here would put a lot of pressure on Canada.
Whoa!
2.5, 10.
Yep. Whoa!
Whoa!
Whoa! Nine. Rood.
Go, go.
Okay. Staat 2.
10-3.
Not liking how this end is shaping up, so Team Canada will just look for the peel and probably try to keep the blank alive here. See if they can't catch the side red on the way by as well.
Yep. 4. Roll speed. Good.
Seven, 3.
Does Calderon yellow, leaving 2 Swiss counters in the house. Of course, does open it up.
Yeah, not the end of the world, especially if their goal here is to blank this end. They've left a double on those 2 reds. And they're enough separated that it's tough to put a guard in a great spot here.
I'm not sure if they were too excited about discarding the shot stone there. Might be a pretty natural double on the reds.
Yeah, there is. Kate did leave her shooter around, though, as a wide corner guard, so if they show too much of the other side of that rock, then they also leave a hit and roll behind that corner. So not a bad result there for Canada, even though they removed their own yellow stone.
Yep. Good. Whoa.
Any roll.
No roll there for Kate. Looking at the other games going on this afternoon on Sheet A, Korea leads Norway by a score of 4-1. Scotland up 2-1 on Russia. Sweden out to an early lead, 6-2 over Japan. And China up 1, leading 4-3 over the United States. Huge opportunity missed there for Team Canada to not roll that yellow one at all. You leave this same hit and roll now for Switzerland to sit 2 buried behind a red center guard. Even if Kate were to over-roll that somewhere behind the corner guard, roll in front of the red, they had a lot of options there, but nosing unfortunately wasn't the best option. Do get away with one though, with Switzerland not managing to make that inside roll either.
Bump.
Yep. Clean. Bump. Close. Yep. Bump. Whoa. Yep.
No. 10-8, sorry, I should have just stayed on it.
Elf. Yep.
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 Whoa!
Oh.
Whoa! F. F. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Sit. Sit.
Okay.
That does sit in time.
And that's huge that it did stick around. Even though it's over there in the wing, that little rock over there keeps the force on for Team Switzerland. They'd love to force Canada here in this fifth end.
Medium. Yup. Yup. Whoa.
Did you hit it?
I burned it. I burned it. I hit it.
Well, do we have a burnt rock here?
We do. We heard Kate say to Paige, did you hit it? And Paige obviously feeling that she did touch it with her broom. And so when that happens, we'll watch it here. Yeah, just right there. And then realizing it, they both stop. When that happens between the hog lines, it's automatically take the rock out of play. If it were to happen after the hog line, you'd let the other team know that you did touch it, and the other team would have the opportunity to decide what to do with it at that point.
Ja.
Fair play.
Very fair.
Ja. Okay.
Vier bisen. Zacht. Lucas, vier bisen. Ja, linie. Ja, linie. 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 Linie.
Kom maar nou, even vanuit.
Peel.
Pretty hard sweep to get that pass. In the end, they just leave a double. Wonder if you might even be able to throw this hard enough to catch the one on the wing.
I think the angles might show that it's there, but you would have to throw it pretty hard. It's a long way to push that second rock across the rings and have enough momentum to get both of those rocks still out of the rings, but I think Selena can throw it pretty hard.
Would need to catch the second red pretty dead on the sides, fairly thin.
Doesn't look like a bomb here.
Close. Close. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
What you got here, Stormy? It's one, not really the second. Have to catch that a lot thinner. Does open it up.
And that's twice we've seen down that same spot Team Canada attempt that double with the out turn. And just hitting it too thick as we see here. With that one for Selena, those rocks were so close together, it was actually tough to hit that one too thin and not get something more out of it. So you might just want to look at tightening up that broom and giving it a chance. Let your sweepers hold it. But not a huge steal danger here for Team Canada. Still have the whole 8 foot to draw to.
Whoa. 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 What's up? Whoa. Whoa. Weg.
Rolls out. Down to last stone here for Canada, facing two.
Es mega gut,
Not
aber eben.
comfortable enough with draw weight here.
Ja.
It might be, you know, seeing the rock that Switzerland was trying to hit on the other side. Had they nosed that and stayed in the way, maybe sat 3, that would have been enough for Selena to want to draw. But in this case, with a 1 point lead, by hitting this rock, if you roll out, at worst you give up a steal of 1. Maybe just not quite so comfortable with her draw weight yet, although she's been arguably the best on the sheet with draw weight so far this afternoon. So might be a scoreboard play.
Big sweep to keep this in play. Over curls, rolls out. That's a steal of 1 for Switzerland. And just like that, we're back to scratch. We're all tied. 2-2 the score.
How tight was
As the teams now head in for the halftime break. After 5 ends. 2-2.
Sorry about the rock. That's okay. It happens.
Third end. Selena Vichonka is looking to hit and roll in for second shot here, giving away 1. But doesn't roll enough. And that's a steal of 2 for Canada after 2 blank ends. In the fourth end, Vichonka again with last stone, looking to promote her own red. Try and move that yellow far enough to score 2. Just not enough pace on it. And it's just 1 for the Swiss, trailing Canada.
That was a bad end.
In the fifth end, Switzerland lying 2. Selena Stormé not comfortable with the draw. Wants to play the hit for the single, but over curls. Steal 1 for Switzerland. All tied after 5.
Some other games going on here in Liverpool this afternoon. Korea leads Norway by a score of 4-1. Scotland up 2-1 over Russia. Sweden leading Japan 6-2. China with a 1-point lead over the United States, leading that one by a score of 4-3.
Ja. Ja. Okay. Zeitlich sind wir gut in einfach, also ist gut. Ja, wir fahren rein wieder ein bisschen. Dann kommen wir im Flow rein.
Ich würde jetzt noch mal ein 3, glaube
ich. Ich auch, ja. Ja, ist gut, dann nicht so ein bisschen unter Druck halten, dann ist es 3. Ja. Gut.
Nein, es ist noch nicht besser.
Es ist 2-2. Darf ich auch?
Ja.
Okay. Last food takers here?
No.
Second half.
Let's go, guys. Ready? Good second half here. Play well. Finish it off.
Taking a look at these percentages through the first 5 ends of this game, our score is knotted at 2, and overall percentages, Canada does have the lead. It's been the draws that got Switzerland early in this game, in particular trying to set up their ends. But they've picked up that since the first few ends, evening it out a little bit, and both of the teams knotted in their hit percentage. So Selena herself has played really well, just that one miss in the 5th end, steal of 1, and we're tied at 2.
Yup! 8-8.
so weit es geht. Sicher bis 2. Komm mit. Lauf noch lang. Fisch. Fisch.
Swiss sweepers working really hard to bring this first rock in the 6th end over the hog line and closer to the house. They are playing Canada. We're halfway through this game. Switzerland on top.
Top,
The round robin standings. They've won all their games so far. Now taking on the home favourites. Even though we're in Canada, it's been a bit of a travel for the Canadian girls as well from Alberta.
Tight.
Yeah, almost as far across the country as you can go. It is a 3-hour time change for these girls, so had to get a little bit adjusted here earlier in the week.
Only if you have to.
Top 4.
Sometimes
15.
we see the ice get a little bit quicker after half time where the ice makers come out and mop the sheet. Wonder if Lead Tonoli for Switzerland had that in mind throwing the first rock as it
T-line.
was a little bit shy for weight.
Yeah, she may also have had a couple of her corner guards in mind earlier in the game too. She was just slipping deep earlier on in this game. Could be an over adjustment, but got that one at least in a usable position for her team. You see her percentages there. Just a slow start for her.
Well, it's all tied now, so whatever's happened, happened. Just play well for the next 5 ends. You win yourself a game.
C'est bas.
Needing to curl. Just wanting to sit on top of this yellow. Weight not too bad. Just, well, either a foot too deep or just not enough curl.
Yeah,
Either
one
way.
or the other. Canada with the hammer here, not wanting to leave the middle of the house there too junky. Want to make sure that Selena has a shot on her last one, so we'll try to roll this one away.
Medium, clean. Medium up. Clean. Little up. Whoa. Close. Yep. Yep. Fort. Fort. Hard roll. Hard.
Well done.
9-1.
Okay. Good call. Hörs normal.
Okay.
Der, wo du ein S hast, 14, 17.
Not putting a lot of weight on the broom, Laura Engler.
No good balance she must have to be able to do it that way.
7. 8.
Achtung.
Yeah, not all curlers will put weight on their broom.
Achtung.
No, it's more of a comfort thing, even if you don't put the weight on it for 95% of your slides. It's that 5% where you might have a little bit of a timing issue or a wobble. Having it there creates that comfort. You can lean on it if needed.
Pat
Back line.
Simmons, D1, comes to mind.
Glenn Howard also doesn't put a whole lot of weight on his broom either. Kind of has it out to the side, similar to what we just saw Laura do there.
And then if you start thinking about the corn broom Manitoba tuck slide, it's a whole different concept.
Although you're so low to the ground on those ones, I'm not sure you could ever fall over.
Roll. Hack.
Straight up.
Hack up.
Gotta wait, Paige.
You want to catch it thin and run it onto your yellow here. They do.
That's fine. That's good. That's okay.
Lots of yellows in play. Actually keeps that one around. So you might see Switzerland play a double here. Can't leave too many yellows in play without hammer if you're Switzerland. You never know when they might come back to haunt you.
That one hanging on at the back of the rings there was actually very key for Team Canada. Could be a second point later on.
You know, it might be tempting to go around that center guard and sit too, but very, very risky.
All it takes is one run back from Team Canada or one slightly missed draw from Team Switzerland, and the pressure's on.
Yup.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Roll.
It's a great shot. Makes the double and makes the roll. Does leave it behind the tee line though and partially exposed, so.
It'll curl with easy. Yep.
Easy. Hard.
Whoa. Paige.
Pretty good result there from Kate. She does move both of those red rocks away from the 4-foot area. The way that they were angled, one of them was going to go back onto their own yellow no matter where she hit it. And sticking the shooter was also key because it forces Switzerland to play this hit versus going around that center line guard.
Spitz me. Schnüren Sie bei Schliene gsi.
Rafaela having a great game so far.
Yep. Alles. Go. Fish. 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 Woo. Big. Big. Roll. Go. Guys, ready. Tap side.
Medium.
Steig sie.
Medium. Whoa.
No.
Medium. Whoa.
Good medium. Little
Cat.
up.
Just back.
So when you hear Selena say just back, she's talking about Abby Marks's release. So just at the very end, she must have put it outside the broom, and that's what caused it to run a little bit straight there. She was trying to hit it on that side so that she kept the play away. You can see her release here, right at the end there, not quite allowing it to get close to 12 o'clock on the clock when she was letting that one go and caused it to float. Her out turn may also run a little bit straighter than a right-hander's in turn down that same spot.
Really needing to curl here. Nowhere close for line.
On the field.
Sweepers were actually on that early. Didn't need to.
No, they could have got a lot more out of that shot had it been a little better managed by the sweepers. Always important for one sweeper to always be looking up, especially when the ice is this fast. You don't even really need both sweepers going hard. You can have the second one just cleaning the path, removing any frost or debris that might be there, and being the person who's judging.
Clean. Whoa. Close.
Medium.
Whoa. 9-8.
Big mistake not to stick around there.
Yep.
Huge.
Just leaving Switzerland a chance to come around the guard again.
Yeah, if you stick around anywhere, you can probably see Switzerland walk up to hit that one and keep the play away from the middle. Knowing that they weren't trying for the double there, Canada could consider just bringing their weight down a little bit on these nose hits. It's a little bit easier to stick your shooter playing those quieter weights. Bring your sweepers into it a little bit more.
Schulke was technically brought as an alternate for this team, but put in to play fourth rocks from the very start.
It's very interesting.
So this team won the Swiss Junior National Championship as we see a hiccup here.
Yeah, that's too bad. That was looking pretty nice.
Wow.
Doesn't even get to the rings. It's
Well, that's going
unfortunate.
to change things. Don't see too many of them. Only seen a couple this week.
I think that's only our second or third that we've seen like that.
Well, what I was going to say
Go on.
was the team won the Swiss Championship last
I'll
season.
be piece of 4.
And Swiss only works the way that you win your
I'd
Swiss
probably piece of 4
Championship.
from
You
top
go
edge, probably round
to the
round.
Worlds the next year, which I believe Canada is now
Daar
going to incorporate as well.
Yes.
Yeah, just a piece
Canada
of 4.
has just announced that they are switching to that model. It won't come into play next year. Next year, the winners will still go to the 2020 World Junior Championships. And what they'll do is the runner-up from that 2020 Junior Championship in Canada, as long as their players will be age eligible the following year, that team will go to the World. So that's how they're deciding in that off year. And then the new format of the team going the next year will come into play in 2021.
This is a pretty good draw here from Sturmey.
Really nice.
Ja, weil da kommt sie immer rein. Mit Pinketten.
Ja, finde ich auch.
Oder? Ich meine, schau, sie ist jetzt über einen Stein übergehört.
Ja.
Kommst locker rein. Okay.
Very unfortunate for Switzerland.
And yeah, you have to be a little frustrated if you're the Swiss team. Had a really good end going.
Sunny.
I think what Switzerland does is a good model for these young players and what Canada has now changed to do. The main reason in Canada is that if you don't win your provincial championship, your season is essentially over at the end of December. And with a lot of curling clubs not getting ice even until October, your season is very, very short. Limits the development of these players. This allows a team to be Team Canada for a full year, which is huge for development and what they can learn in that time.
Not curling enough for Vichonke, and that's going to leave a draw for Canada to score two pretty much out of nowhere.
That was a big turnaround. Swiss team will want to shake that off, know that they played a good end. Just got a little bit unlucky, move on.
Vichonke did skip Switzerland in the last two World Junior Curling Championships, meaning
Might run a little bit
her
better.
team actually beat Kaiser's team in two finals running. And that's probably why they've brought her along. Thinking she's a really solid player and an asset to the Swiss team.
Line's good.
Very unlucky to pick up some debris on the first throw.
Similar there.
There.
Selena Sturmey taking full advantage here with a good first draw.
Just T. Nope.
Now a chance to score two if this one settles down in time. I think it will. Skips deuce from Canada. A little bit out of nowhere, but I think they'll take it. A little bit of frustration for Switzerland. They're going to have to shake that off and come back stronger. 4-2 to score in favor of Canada.
Actually trusting myself.
Sorry,
I didn't get a time on that one, but that's okay.
Yeah. I felt like I kicked her more.
Yeah, I called it right out of your hand.
Machen wir mal einen Corner, oder? Sie geht sicher rein. Also los, Frauen, kommt.
Not a lot of extension at all.
Tight.
Tight.
Little down.
Hard, guys.
You might be crossing center. Line's good.
Stop it.
Staying really straight, guys. 15-7.
Two deuces on the scoreboard for Canada. The first one was stolen. The second one was maybe a bit cheap, to be honest.
Yeah, picked rock by Switzerland on their skips first. So that's when, if you're Team Switzerland, you just need to put it behind you, shake it off, and know that you're playing better maybe than the scoreboard would say. And if you're Team Canada, you know that you got a bit of a gift to you there, and you need to take that opportunity, run with it, and pick up your stocks a little bit here.
Again, a little scary on the corner guard throw from Tonoli.
Hair less.
Wonder if she might need a bit less ice as well. They're not curling enough, and I think maybe just hanging on the other side of that center line. We've talked about the center line sometimes having a bit of a peak.
Yeah, the center line here is definitely peaked on all of these sheets. I don't think Switzerland has got wide enough on a single one of their corner guard attempts. And when a center line is peaked, what happens is, you can imagine it like a hill. So you're on the one side of the center line. As she was trying to get to, her out-turn side, she would be climbing the hill, and it just takes forever. Once you get on the other side of the hill, it will curl off of it pretty hard, but it just takes so long to get there that sometimes you just need to take a little bit less ice and let it get across the other side of that peak sooner, or you just have no chance.
And we can see when that center guard now in place, no real chance for Switzerland to actually draw around their corner guard. Also takes away the in-turn draw to the forfeit.
It does, by putting it a bit wider. Yes, you could argue that you can't bury behind it and have as much of the rings, so that's one factor, but it just really helps your team actually use that corner guard and not impede your line to the middle if you play it out there a little bit wider.
The upside is it's pretty close to the rings and easily promotable.
Yeah, we have seen quite a few corner guards in a similar spot to that, but I've never seen anyone try to come around it the wide way, and I think that shot would certainly be there on this ice. If it's almost like they give up and they just start going around the middle, but definitely an option to either play a tap or a wide draw around those corner guards that are a bit closer to center.
Because even if you come halfway around on the left-hand side here, to have Canada chase is a little bit dangerous. They over curl, they take that corner guard into the house.
Yeah, and it's a spot they don't play as much. It's not a place that they would have played as many hits and maybe know the spot as well, so even more of a chance that they tick you in.
Trying to avoid the jam in the back, they do. Kai said not quite sure what she wants to do here. It's at the seventh end. You wonder if they're thinking about keeping the blank alive.
They may be, for sure. That little biter at the back for Canada could cause some troubles with that, though, with where these guards are. I do think this is the right call. If you play that double peel and Canada splits the other side of the rings and sit three, you're a long ways away from a blank.
Making a bit of a jump on them here. And in the end, finding a perfect roll here.
Very nice.
Might have left it in the hole if there is one.
There is one, it's not very big.
And again, Canada will have to risk actually promoting that red guard into the house if they ever tick it. And ticking the center guard is no good either, really.
I think you play peel, and if you catch it outside one, yeah, like there's definitely a hole. I think so too.
And that's the reasoning for calling the peel, so that if she does tick that guard, she won't tick it into the ring, she'll just take it right out of play.
Peel! Yup! Yup! Hard! 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 Hard!
Oh, and she makes it through the hole. Great shot from Kate Goodhelpson.
vielleicht ein bisschen, weil das am Schluss noch recht kratzt, aber nicht
Also
schön.
14-7.
Ja.
Laura Engler, part of the 2016 Youth Olympic bronze winning team.
Wo sind wir?
One of many Youth Olympians here this week.
Wo denn? Wo sind wir?
8, 9.
It was Selina Bichonke who skipped that team back in Lillehammer.
Quite a few players at this World Championship that were a part of that 2016 Youth Olympic Games.
Little up. Line's close. T, back 4. Close for line. Back 8. Back 8. Back 12. Coming down. You're going to get in the middle stuff here. Back 4. Back Line's 8. Really curling. Back 8. Curling more than it should here.
Yeah, it's still like back 8.
Are you sure?
Yeah, back 4. It's really coming down though. Back 4.
14-7.
Yeah. Yeah, that should not have been
Move, but will it? Yep. T-line.
Yeah, but you guys didn't touch
Ihr
it
war
all the way
jetzt
down.
14-5, er ist am Schluss mega abgehockt.
Ich habe ihn nicht angelenkt, den hockt da rechts.
A physiotherapy student, Kaiser, could be very helpful for her team already now, but definitely in the future.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe these young girls, they're still working as they should, but especially as you get older, to have someone with that knowledge on your team, how to warm up and how to cool down and how to deal with injuries. Our sport is so lopsided as far as which body parts you use. It's great to have that knowledge.
Just coming up a bit heavy here, just enough to lie shot stone. Leaving that button open for Canada.
This is more ice.
And a huge pocket behind the button. Make this shot need to be a little less precise for Abby Marks.
Sie reinfriest.
Still a little up. T, back 4. Back 4. Whoa. Back 8. No.
Coming down.
Gotta wait.
Back 8.
Back 8. Back 12. Yeah, try.
We're almost through.
14.
A couple of heavy draws down this spot.
Yeah, what might have happened is she saw the backing there and knew she had that pocket to come to, overthrew it just a little bit. If you get out into that bit of a straighter spot like we talked about earlier, when the rock doesn't curl, it has less distance to go, so it just slides even that much further than you think it maybe should.
Let's see if it's the ice being really quick down this spot, or if everyone's just overthrowing it. I think we should be looking at 15 seconds without sweeping. Calling this one heavy too. 14-8, that's maybe T-line on its own, if not more.
Whoa!
Just back of T. Yeah, it seems pretty steady, pretty uniform.
We've seen the same speed out here all week, pretty much all the way across the sheet. Really great conditions from John Wall and his ice crew.
Tap this and roll it.
Get the feeling like Switzerland not really able to capitalize on their opportunities.
No, both teams have had some great opportunities in this game to really put the pressure on their opposition, just not quite taking advantage of those shots after misses. My old coach used to call them Sams. She'd actually count the Sams and
like back
see how many of the shots we could make after the other team missed, and it's almost like it's worth double points when you can really put your foot down on the pedal there.
See the Canadian coaches looking around. They might be scouting a bit on the other teams, maybe even on the rocks they're throwing.
Yeah, most likely both of those things.
Weight's close, little up. Line's close. Back line.
Selena Sturmey
Back line.
did make a shot after Switzerland had that pickup in the 6 to set up for the 2. So that was one Sam.
Yes, whether it was a miss by
or a tap.
yeah, shot after pick, yeah. Either way, it was not made. Really nice there.
Die liep nog voor daar. Aber ich kann nicht so immer noch durch, oder?
Oder dann so.
Ja.
Eine Seite haben wir immer.
Meine 4. Ist gut. Ich gebe dir gleich viel easy für meine, oder? Ist gut.
Ein bisschen tappen. Wir werden wahrscheinlich noch nicht schotten, aber dann nachher beide Seiten offen. Ja. Um etwas machen. Hinter 4. Etwa.
Go weg. Nein, nicht.
Jetzt kommt runter.
Nicht.
7.
Oscarle.
7.
Oscarle.
Die Linie kommt besser. 7.
Vanessa, ja. Wow, Vanessa. Ja. Ja. Ja.
Go, go, go.
Just throw a guard. I kind of think you have to. That's really tough, and if she makes it good for her. Yeah, like.
As Selena and Abby discuss what they want to
Is
do
that
here, we'll
better,
take
or
a
is
look
this
at the other games going on in the arena this afternoon.
As long as
Korea has a 5-2 lead over Norway in the
kinda
7th
like
end.
tight.
Also in the 7th end, Russia leads Scotland by a score of 3-2. Sweden jumps out to a huge lead of 11-4 over Japan, playing 7, and China up 6-4 over the United States in the 7th end.
Schnell.
Okay. Your last one was like back line. Yeah. Even if we're top 8, like it's not. We just have to be in the right line here. Okay. Okay.
So is this a guard we're seeing?
It is a guard. That red rock that was just thrown by Switzerland is in such a good spot that Canada really can't do anything with it without risking taking their own rock out as well. So they're just going to guard this path. They are sitting shot right now, so make it a lot more difficult for Switzerland to get in there for shot stone.
Clean. Halfway tight.
Kate, a little bit. Little bit.
Whoa.
Whoa. Tight. 16-8.
So what does Switzerland have?
Ja.
They may have a tap on this outside red guard on the right-hand side as we're looking at it. If they make it, it could maybe even be for 3. If they hit it just right. Definitely there for 2, though.
Wenn willst,
Tricky to get by your top
wenn
red
ich ihn
one.
ganz dünn habe,
Ja.
dann geht er auch auf den. He? Der ist auch nur einer. Er ist nicht so einfach, finde ich, dass
Ja.
der besser bleibt. Wie,
So.
oder? Siehst du auch ihn?
Ja. Schön,
Also.
watch. 10. 11.
Für längs immer.
Okay.
11.
Okay.
Heck
Gut.
ist langsam, oder?
Finde schon, ja.
Okay, gut, 11.
Gut. Okay.
Ein bisschen aussen.
Ja.
When they say elf, they don't talk about their favorite Christmas movie, but rather the number 11, which would be, I believe, the hog-to-hog split.
So that would be kind of like a board weight.
Yep.
Also über der Rot.
Ja.
And are they trying to promote this red directly onto the yellow or use their top red in the forefoot?
I think directly on the yellow, but of course, catch a bit thin, you can slash it as an option.
Okay. Red.
Would be really essential for Switzerland to score even just one here. This is really, really tough on Vichonke. A bit of a panic line call here early. This one has over curled. Just hoping to maybe curl enough to come through the hole in the end there, but it doesn't come off. It's a steal, a 1 for Canada. They lead it 5-2 after 7 ends of play. Switzerland really need to start taking advantage of their chances if they're going to come back from this.
I know. I honestly think there's a spot nice on the 4-foot line there. Yeah. Because she threw that like good wide. Huh. Yeah. And my hit there curled a country mile. So.
I'm thinking crossing center is still a little heavier because your 13.8 we don't think would have went as far as Abby's 14. Like a little bit, yeah.
I think in that case too, like just like if you notice someone's like tight or wider, just let us know.
Yeah. Okay. Protect. Let's have a good end. Let's go. Yes.
Line's good. I think you're close.
Weight's close.
Air down?
Yeah.
Similar path to mine in 6. Switch.
Top 12.
Top 8. Top 4. Hard Kate, get it center. Go. Hard Kate, go. Hard buddy, go. 15-8.
15-8, hog to hog on that draw, still makes it to the top of the forefoot.
Yeah, and she used her sweepers on that one. So much better to come up where she is than throw it there on your own and just slip behind the tee line. It's one thing for the draw weight out here. We haven't seen the players use their sweepers all that much. The same spot with this corner guard.
Yeah, just hanging on that center line for a long time. Also just running for weight. Weight really only coming off the rock as it starts to curl. It's very late. Again, maybe just give a bit less ice. Obviously, you could throw a bit less weight as well. It might cross over earlier and actually finish a bit earlier.
Yeah, I think that's where someone on the team might want to be a bit of a pattern watcher, you could say. It can be tough for the skip to always pick up on those things. Someone could just speak up and say, you know what, we haven't got the line on this shot yet at all. Looking at the leads, Paige has picked up her game a little bit since the early ends. She does have the edge over Switzerland at the lead position.
Yeah, Tonoli also playing better. She was throwing 42% after 3 ends.
Different release on the 2. Yeah. 15-7.
It was the weight that Paige Papley was looking for. Did overcurl a little bit, but with a 3-point lead, it was key to get both of those rocks in the rings and not leave any guards out front for Team Switzerland to use.
Would you ever consider throwing another corner here when you're 3 down, or is that too aggressive?
No, not this late in the game. I don't think especially with how tight that corner guard is to the rings, you could throw a second corner guard on the same side and make it really difficult for Canada to ever double peel. I think being down 3, it's a little bit early to be playing a hit like this.
We'll definitely need to stick around here
You could have even played that with a back 8 to a back line weight. Just tried to tap those stones, jiggle them around, and keep your shooter in front of it. Just not necessary to play that much weight with being down 3.
Just lucky enough that spins back onto the rings. Yeah, those yellow stones weren't really lined up that well either for Canada to throw guard on it.
No, and now by bringing your shooter into the rings, even though they stuck around, you're allowing Canada to play a hit on that stone, and on their next one, they can go up and peel it. Whereas if you had to throw in a second center line guard, you're likely going to have a guard to work with for most of the end. You can put them in the right positions.
Has opened the path to in behind the corner guard, as we see Englund. Good Helpson playing 77%, just slightly different way of getting there.
I like that throw. I actually got out to the broom.
Ja, Linie!
And just that draw weight struggle for Team Switzerland here this afternoon. This one again looking maybe a little bit heavy.
You wonder if that spot is just a bit quicker as it's just hanging on the center line all the way down. Like we discussed earlier, if it doesn't curl as much, it's less distance traveled, could be a bit quicker.
And on top of that, it usually is faster to the wings in general. What happens is most of the play comes to the middle. Sweepers will sweep down those pads and wear down the pebble, and when pebble gets worn down, it can create the ice to be a little bit slower, but those pads to the wings usually stay pretty good for most of the game, so you often find them to be a bit faster.
Jam in the back there. That one actually spins back up into the back 12. Unfortunate. And a lifeline for Switzerland.
Yeah, I'm not really sure Selena had that one in her peripheral. Maybe take a couple steps back on that peel just to have everything in your line of sight.
But you can see how little Switzerland has to work with here after coming in with their lead second stone. In the 8th end, you would think you'd go all or nothing to score your 2.
They definitely need to take some chances this end. And like you said, now by only playing the single guard, there's just nothing up front for them to work with.
Muskerla, linie goed. Linie goed. 4. Ja, doe dat.
Go, go, go.
Selena, Selena. Selena. Ja, 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 ja. Fish, 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 fish. Okay.
Dus je nog moet proberen.
Even if you kill it.
Why do we want to get rid of that?
Moest je zo iedere week. Ja. Voor de nase. Aber.
One might get the double. That would have been cheeky. Does kill the red.
Yeah, she gets away with it, but they also could have just put the broom on the outside of the rock there, played firmer peel weight, and eliminated it and lost your shooter. Bit of an easier way to get there. You're up 3. You really don't want to keep rocks in play. Keeping your shooter around would have just been another rock for Switzerland to work with.
Nochmal drauf. Das ist so gegen 15.
And playing it the way they did, they also bring the potential of losing their back yellow, which right now is preventing Switzerland from scoring 2 points.
Okay.
Ich denke, kannst du immer noch 15 hoch.
Okay.
Those are the worst when you just like.
Few line struggles for Abby here this afternoon.
Than what you were sliding, and you're like, oh.
Just maybe a little bit on release.
Results like
out turn seems to be out a little bit, and her in turn a little bit in. So just getting caught on that a little bit, but Selena's calling for the nose here, but I feel like that leaves almost another guard for Switzerland to use. They could play a hit and roll off the rock in the forfeit, or play a come around freeze to the back one, and then there's a Canadian rock in the front that needs to be dealt with. And that was the risk with playing it close to the nose.
8, 7.
Now all of a sudden, might be a sneaky 3 in play here for Switzerland if Canada's not careful.
Why throw that much weight?
I was just wondering the same thing. Sticking your shooter there, I think they were thinking about making a roll and getting some separation between those rocks, but the bigger thing was to stick your shooter somewhere. It's just a lot of weight to play to try to stick your shooter around, especially on that side of the ice, which I think is a little bit straighter. There's a lot that comes into play with shot selection and making your shots. It's not that they called the wrong shot there. They absolutely called a good shot to try to stick your shooter around. But when you look at the way that you're calling the shots, that's where so many shots are made or missed with broom placement or weight choice.
Forward! Forward! Forward!
9-7. What? 9-7.
Big difference between the fourth throwers this afternoon. Then again, Vichonka has been left a few tricky ones.
Yeah, I'm not sure her percentages are all that reflective. She's had some really difficult shots, almost a couple almost weren't even there. But just throughout the Swiss lineup this afternoon, the draws have been the struggle, and that's why Canada has a 3-point lead.
Medium. Medium. Okay.
The nose hit here from Canada. There won't be a 2-point score available for Team Switzerland because any double attempt will roll out of the ring. So it's key for Selena to try to nose this one. If she rolls back towards the center line and towards her yellow stone, she might leave a double for 2 for Switzerland.
Medium. Yep. Up. Yep. Whoa, clean. Medium up. Yep. Yep. Forward. Forward. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Clean, clean. No.
It's fine.
just enough of a roll that I think she has left a double there now. It's tricky without jamming.
Maar het moest een fijn hadden dat genau zo maakt.
Pretty thin.
Aan het gevoel.
Gut.
Soort is nu niet.
Is gut.
Okay.
Nochmal so. Also.
Wie du
willst.
willst.
Weiter. Weißt du, gleich dort, wo es ist, weißt du?
Probably feel they need to take it on here.
Yeah, considering the scoreboard, I think it's a chance you need to take. Hope you miss contact with the back red biter.
Wenn wir ihn hinter dick können, sollte er oben durchgehen.
Okay, gut.
Achtung!
Oh, look at that. What a peach by Selena Vichonka. Fantastic double. Wow. Here we go, Switzerland. 2 points for them. Back in the game. That's the kind of shot that might change momentum in a game. But Canada will still be up 5-4. 2 ends to go.
Unlucky jam. Honestly. I wasn't sure.
Sonst zuerst 3.
Ja, macht's aber selber.
Kommt selber. 3 bis 4.
Nein.
Ja, 3 ist gut.
Yep. Yep.
Also noch easy.
16-2.
Switzerland, they scored their first deuce of the game to keep them within reach. Their hammer efficiency, as we might call it. How good they've been at scoring 2 or more when last stone this week has been pretty good, 43%.
Top 12.
T-liner better.
Much better than Canada anyway. They've
Preferably
only done it 23% of the times they have hammer, they score 2 or more.
Yeah, 42% hammer efficiency is quite good to be able to. 43% is quite good to be able to score your deuce that often. That's the reason this team, the Swiss team here, is undefeated at the time.
And also a 56% force efficiency, so they usually make sure their opponent doesn't score more than 1. And of course, sitting at the top of the standings, they're the team that scored the most points, and yeah, just haven't quite seen that through 8 ends this afternoon, but still 2 ends to do it.
To be productive with the hammer and stingy without the hammer and force teams that often, you're going to win a lot of curling games that way. And you don't need to score more than 2 when you're forcing that often. Oh.
Wow. Really went for it.
Yeah, those can be tough. I mean, you're just trying to put the thing a foot over the hog line, but you really have to make sure you're over with those ones.
Only 1 guard for Switzerland, and
Little down.
even that one might not be in play.
No, Paige trying a tick here.
Back line.
Not allowed to remove this red from play, but Canada looking to just split it. This one over curling though, actually going to promote this into the 8 foot and leaves more or less a guard for Switzerland to use. Not the greatest result there.
No, the one key to it, though, is that it's now a Canadian Yellowstone up front, so...
What? You threw 13-5.
Never mind, Canada has hammer. That would have only come into play if that was Switzerland. I was thinking because they could peel their own rock with the 5-rock rule, but Canada would be able to peel whatever comes up front. It's a lot of games we've watched here this week, Sander.
Well, the only good thing is if that's the guard Switzerland is coming around later on, Canada could run it back or try and slash it onto that red stone on the side of the house. Really need this over the hog line here. Switzerland can't hog 2 center guards in a row. And there we are, across to Tartan.
Big sweep.
My bad.
Does leave the shooter on the center line. Those could be tricky to call. Coming across the face, as Lena was doing there, you won't get as much action off the stone as if you are coming into it, so coming at it from the other side. So you have to hit those almost a little bit thinner than you think you need to.
See a good look of the rock here underneath. You'll see 2 types of granite in the stone. Usually a blue hone as a disc, which provides the running surface of the rock, which is, I believe, just very hard and good for gliding down the ice. And you can see Engler just cleaning that running surface. Sometimes some debris sticks to it.
Yeah, and you often see players just give it a brief wipe with their hand and not even look at the stones. You want to make sure you're also cleaning with your eyes and not just with your hand, actually seeing what's on the underside of your rock.
Two good shots by Engler. Really good to get that red out here from Goodhelpson.
Yeah, great shot. Does leave the second red center line guard, but clears it out for sure.
That's a good chance. Sturmey only have to play against the 1 instead of 2 in this end.
Yeah, that's the big thing for Canada. Steal of 1 here, it's not the end of the world. You go tied coming home and you have the hammer. You just don't want to get yourself into too much trouble where you're shooting against 2 or 3 Switzerland stones.
Well, we might get an interesting scenario here where Canada might have the choice between taking 1 and giving up 1. Is there a right or wrong there?
I don't think so. I think it's a team decision. They'll probably know their statistics around these things. They've played a lot of games as a team, and they'll know what they prefer. Whether they prefer to be up 2 without the hammer or tied with the hammer. A lot of teams just love having that last rock in their hand, and for good reason. Fate is in your hands that way, but a 2-point lead is pretty big.
Still a guard in play for Switzerland. Having to cross the center line this time. We'll see if you get a bit less curl.
Vanessa, ja.
Vanessa, go.
Yep. Ja, so lange lang.
Go, go, go.
Yeah, not curling enough. I was wondering if that wasn't too much ice.
Yeah, that board side is a little bit straighter out here. And also looked like she had the weight to be there all by herself. So you bring your sweepers into it a lot more, allow them to finish it, help it curl a bit more at the end if you throw sweeping weight.
Medium. Just medium. Good medium.
Yep, other way, yep. Forward. Forward.
Sorry, I can't time.
Es ist weniger schlimm, wenn wir 2 kassieren, oder? Probier ihnen beide nach.
Ja.
10.
Frage, oder willst du schleuen und versuchen... Nein, es geht nicht. He? Ist zu fest Nase. Nein, gehen wir
Nein,
einfach auf den.
ich denke, 10 langt für beide hinten.
Ja, nein, weißt du, ich meine schneller, dass bis über eine Länge.
Aha.
Aber nein, ist gut, einfach 10.
Okay.
As they make their call, we'll take a look at the other sheets. We do have a couple of finals. On sheet A, Korea beat Norway by a score of 7-3. On sheet B, Russia trails Scotland by a score of 4-3. They will have the hammer in the 9th end. Sweden finished off their win against Japan 12-6. And the United States trails China by 2 with the hammer, playing the 9th end.
Hit and roll, I believe, is called for Switzerland. I'm not sure if I'm in love with that call.
Yeah, it's pretty late in the game here. You've got a center guard to work with. At this point, if you give up 2 or 3, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, fuck.
So it did make the perfect roll.
Well, if you make it like that, I love the call. But she could have also just drawn. Actually,
yeah, it's just you ever miss that by anything, you're almost giving away your 2 pretty
exactly.
easy. But looks like they've made it good enough to force Canada to make a draw here.
14-8. Yeah, they're going through the middle stuff though. That's the only thing.
Yeah, no, I
Of course,
like
that roll
14. I think
sits
15 you could get
behind the tee line, so it's no
Just
real
2.
danger
Okay.
for the Canadians.
No, and that's what you could have done with the draw, is come around that guard that you have in play and keep it in front of the tee line full 4.
Line's good. Close.
Now Canada has to
Little
draw
bit
almost a
on,
piece of the
hair
button
tight.
for their single.
Line's good,
Top
all you.
eight. Line's good. Top 4. Just top 4. Just top 4. T. Coming down. Back 4. Okay, it really needs to
Back
move.
8.
Misjudged by the sweepers.
Sorry, Abby. It's okay. 14-5. Okay.
So Switzerland, line 1.
Sorry, Spinner.
Chance to draw in for 2.
You did hear them talking before this shot about coming through the middle stuff,
Yeah.
which they might have expected it to be fudging or slowing down a little bit in the middle, but they timed that at a 14-5. So I don't think it is. Seems like it's moving just fine everywhere.
Weißt du mir bitte mehr als Mitte 8, gell?
Ja.
Kijk, Mitte 8. Ist gut?
Ja.
Also da läuft es immer noch gut. Das ist die Linie, wo wir da
Okay.
gut gelaufen sind. Also.
Ja.
Warte.
5, 6,
Warte.
7.
Warte.
6, 7.
Kaiser didn't find the curl coming this way. Good chunk it. I've tightened up the brush a little bit. Starting to make a move here.
Ja, in die Seilbahn!
Whoa. Vanessa, Vanessa, Vanessa.
Gonna get this buried. Want to get in there to lie second. I'm not sure.
Looks like they did. It is close though.
I think it is. Just enough. So Sturmey having to draw against 2. Although could have probably dragged that a bit farther to give her less room to work with.
Can I give you guys the same pair less?
But even a force here is pretty good for
I
Switzerland.
used to nose the yellow. Okay.
Yeah, it keeps them in this game for sure. Force is huge.
Line's good.
Close there.
Last on 9th end here to keep control. Team Canada
Back 4.
No back right now.
to be up 2.
Line's good.
Down 1 here, depending on
Okay, then.
how this shot turns out.
You're fine. Whoa.
A little heavy. Do they have any backing on their own yellow, perhaps? They do, and that is good enough. Backing is the savior. Single point for the Canadians. They will be up 6-4. But Switzerland will have last own in the 10th end.
Difference in those paths. Yeah, I thought you kicked similar and it timed faster. I agree. All right, we are protect. Clean, simple. Yeah. So like just 8 good shots. Top 4, top 12. Yeah, top 4, top 12 side. Yeah, if they're good. Okay. Know that they're good. I like it.
Line's good. Yeah. Top 4. Weight's pretty good. Pair up.
Well then.
Close. Top 4.
Just top 4, I think. Starting to curl lots. Curling.
Top 4, top 8.
Full 4,
Top 12.
Just full top. Just full top. Come around on next. Yeah. 16.
Good.
Here we go. 10th end, Switzerland, Canada. It is Switzerland to try and stay perfect here in Liverpool, Nova Scotia at the World Juniors. Also to end a bad streak against Canada. Lost the last 5 games. The last 2 were skipped by Selina Vichonka in the round robins of the past 2 World Junior Championships. She's playing 4th for the Swiss team this afternoon. Down 2, but with last on advantage. And see this time the corner guard from the Swiss curling a bit more.
Yeah, they maybe it took them 10 ends, but they got it figured out. It's a lot more usable in that spot than where they've been putting it so tight and close to the center line.
More. Weight's good.
Clean.
Top 4, T.
Little bit, yep.
Yeah, line.
Line's good. Line's
T.
good.
Back 4.
Line's good.
T. T. Curling.
Line's really good.
Top 4. Whoa.
Yep.
Top 4.
Forward. Whoa, keep.
Coming around their own yellow here.
Forward.
That's looking real good.
Forward.
Look at that finish as well. Fully buried behind the rock. That's top 12.
Yeah, that's a nice start from Paige to get 2 into the rings, keep the play into the house, and fully in line. Oh, I don't know about this, Sander.
Saw this 2 ends ago.
You'd love to score 3 and need 2 to stay alive. Play in the rings here gives Canada a huge out.
Schaut, wenn sie nachher 3 macht, sind wir schon recht am Nachsäckeln.
Good. 11. Okay.
Well, at least changing the rate call from a 10-second to 11 seconds to make sure they leave the shooter here, but I would have loved to see another corner or even just At the very least, a tap here. No need to kill any of these yellows.
You don't want
they're your
to kill any of
friends.
exactly. They say, old saying, rocks behind the tee line change colors. Hang those around at the back there, and they're helping you. And now Canada can just come up and hit this, where the 5 rock rule have 2 guards up there. Canada can't do anything with them.
Medium up! Please! Whoa, whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Little up!
Come up. 8-8.
Maybe Switzerland thinking they're wanting to guarantee their 2 points here and take their chances at a steal.
Well, they've been pretty dominant, but they're also behind against Sweden. They're actually 5 down after 4 ends and came back from it. So certainly know how to generate points. It's just a little surprised of the calls here.
That really wouldn't surprise me earlier in the game. But this late, when you need 2 and would love 3, that's where it's a little bit surprising.
Just off nose, you probably roll here. Peel.
Well, if it's working for you, it's hard to change it. They actually ended up scoring 2 in the 8th end, and sometimes that's not that helpful. Meaning, if you make a wrong call and it works for you, you're not going to learn.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
Beautiful double here by Good Hobson, and you see just 2 rocks in play. Where's your 3? It's not going to come.
I don't see it right now. You need some misses out of Canada, which you don't want to have to count on, especially in the 10th end. They should have this ice pretty well figured out at this point.
That sweep was all Abby. I was like 6 feet in front of it clean.
Hang! Hang! Het is rond! Ja!
Wow, we zijn op de guard. We zijn op de guard.
Terug. 2.
This one's on the guard.
2.
Nee.
It is actually not even all the way there.
There's that second corner guard we were
so-
looking for, though.
That's okay. I mean, it's an okay result.
Yeah, when you're down a couple of points like that, always better to be. She was quite light, but it's always better to be light. Not much you can do with it when you're heavy.
She's lucky that she was so light. She left some separation between the guards.
No double peel there, really.
Peel. Clean. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Close. Yep. Yep. Four. Ah.
Sorry, that's my bad. Sorry.
Did they go for the double peel?
Seems like they did. They did miss contact with it. They definitely could have got both of them, but would have left their yellow shooter a lot closer to the center line than it is right now. So effectively, you're just replacing the corner guard on one side for a corner guard on the other side. I'm not sure it was there to lose everything.
I'm not sure if that was really necessary.
Linie is klein! 4 terug! 4 linie! Wow, wo sind wir? 4! 4!
A lot of sweeping for the Swiss girls this afternoon.
Wow, bounce. Nice.
This one's wrecking on the guard. Timeout by Canada. They're going to want to talk over how they're going to play the last 3 shots here.
There we go. I was like, there's Santa's on her way. At what point do we ignore it?
What was your first instinct?
You could throw a bomb at the hole and it might rattle through. You could also hit the hole.
You could also hit the hole.
Like, I think as long as you don't catch more than a good third, like it's rattling through.
Yeah.
Would you ever like just straight peeling the red one?
Yeah, I don't mind straight peeling the red one too.
Because I feel like if I ever like curl too much and run it straight back, that's really not good.
Are they basically even?
Yeah, well, you would have to get really unlucky with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just feel like
Yeah, straight peel the red. If that's what she's feeling, let's do that.
And then if they throw another guard, just keep peeling. Because I think they're trying to come around. They're going to come around. They're not going to hit.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Like, we're playing for the extra with that shot, not the win.
What do you like to go for the win?
like I can't.
I don't know if there's like that's a really tight hole, and if we hit it.
Yeah, you just need to hit a piece of the red, right?
Like you would
like even if you hit the yellow first.
Well, I just think like you have to hit like 2/3 of that one to dead stuff it. As like even if you do clip it on your way by, like you'd have to get really unlucky to sail through this hole.
If you're wide too, we can pound it and hit this one first.
Like
I
you
think you're real
just
good. You got it.
yeah, you threw your last one here real good.
Like really good.
Clearly the call is always to peel the red guard here. The question is, do they want to try and get both? And obviously if you get both, the 2 for Switzerland's pretty much out of the picture.
It is, but by attempting this and maybe not making the peel on both of them, that might be the only way you ever bring 3 into the picture. I think Abby's first instinct was to just straight peel this red guard on the other side. You don't really ever risk jamming onto your own yellow that way. Keep things nice and clean. It's never, ever more than 2. She makes this, it's great, but I'm not sure she was quite on board.
Well, let's see here. Comes off the yellow first.
Yeah, you do that more often than not, I think, with that hole. And now that guard's even a little closer to center line for Team Switzerland. Doesn't really change anything, but maybe a little bit more risk than was necessary at that time.
Open a meter, me. Okay.
Tierlinie! Wo sind wir? Noch länger! Hier! Görle! Vanessa! Ja, Vanessa, ja!
Calling on Vanessa Tonoli here to try and carve this across the center line. And in behind cover. Just trying, just doesn't quite have the legs to get there.
Really struggling with the line in that spot, either getting across the center line too early and seeing it curl hard, or keeping it on the high side of the center line and not getting any curl at all.
Especially when they're having to keep the brooms down, it's kind of killing the line a bit for them.
Yeah.
But could have played that maybe on the end turn.
They haven't even looked at it once. They've had a rock in a very similar position this whole game, and neither team has ever looked at playing the other turn, which it's not like we have 6-7 feet of curl on this ice. It's certainly possible to play it both ways.
If you make this one go, you can't lose the game at the 10th end.
Yep! Clean! Medium! Clean! Clean! Whoa, no, no, no! Clean.
Actually stick around here and make it real tricky for Switzerland.
9-3. Good job, throw back a smidge. I literally was like very far. I just kept
That's good.
2 options here, the hit and roll, which I believe they're calling, which would probably avoid you having to play a double on your last one, or you could just play that same come around draw and make Canada make a perfect guard, but
dann kommen wir nicht mehr hin. 10.
Ja.
Made a really good roll in the ninth end.
Sehr ist gut. Achtung. Ja, ja. Wow.
That was also
Ja, ja.
on the out turn.
Ja. Fest. Ja.
This one just over curling. It's going to roll to the wing. It does sit in the 12th hit, but it will be an open hit to win this game for Selena Sturmey.
Field.
Can be the first team to beat Switzerland here this week.
Clean.
And this one's looking pretty good for Canada. And it will be the Canadians to pick up the win here. An essential win for Canada as well, sitting at 3-2.
Finally slid it.
Now moving up to 4 wins as they keep their playoff hopes very much alive. Don't think we saw Switzerland from their best side today. They might come back stronger. But at the same time, they had a very strong start to the week. And some of the steam starting to come off of the Swiss train.
Oh no, we already got them.
6-4, the final score. Canada wins it. Sixth end. A pickup on the first stone for Skip Vichonke on Team Switzerland. And a good draw by Selena Sturmey on her first, sets up this draw for 2. A 2-point lead after 6. With Canada stealing 1 and 7. A key for Vichonke to make this really tricky double to score 2 back. They do. Still in the game, trailing by 1. In the 10th, Canada just with the open hit to run Switzerland out of stones as they were 2 up. Will hit and run. First team to beat Switzerland this week, 6-4. win for the Canadians. You see Korea also picking up a win on Norway this afternoon. Elsewhere, games are still ongoing. Russia's up 7-4 on Scotland. Sweden actually picking up a win on Japan 12-6. And it's tied between USA and China as they play the 10th end. So we see now Switzerland dropping to 5-1, bringing all the other teams a bit closer. Canada moving up to 4-2. Sitting alongside China and Korea, also at 4 wins. Russia, Sweden follows. USA and Norway starting to looking out of the playoff picture, but still a chance. We have winning skip with Laura Walker.
Selena, great win for you and your team. How does it feel to beat the only team that was undefeated so far this week?
It feels great. I feel like all of us as a team played good in the second half of the game, and we were able to catch on ice conditions early, which I think really helped us this game.
Yeah, it seemed like both teams had a bit of a slow start to that game. So what was the key to your team figuring things out and putting some pressure on in the second half?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us was to keep in mind our tolerances. I think that's what really hurt us the first half of the game. So just kind of knowing when it's better to be light and heavy and stuff like that really helped us in the second half.
It is starting to get to the later parts of the week. How are you and your team going to stay mentally and physically ready for all of these games?
Yeah, I think mentally and physically we're ready for the next 3 games that we have up ahead. We just want to keep reading the ice well and playing well and sticking to our practice and our routines that we have going for us.
Congratulations and good luck the rest of the week.
Awesome, thanks.
That's it for the broadcast this afternoon. More curling on the program, though, this evening, 7 o'clock local time here in Nova Scotia. It's Switzerland play Scotland in a men's competition.
Coming up.